How's it going, everyone? We're here to check out the top skins submitted to the workshop this week. If you're new, this doesn't mean all these skins are going to be available for sale or ever will be. It just means these have the potential to be. The dev of the game brings in, well, lead dev, I should say, about 8 to 10 every Thursday. The shop refreshes at a not set time, but it is usually Thursdays, and that's what you'll see. So yeah, we're gonna jump right into it, and the first thing up here isn't a default hoodie and pants. This is actually burlap. Yeah, and it really looks like hoodie and pants. And this is a bit of an issue. One of the literal skinning rules from the devs way back when, one of the original rules was always do not make something look exactly like something else. And one of their examples is, making burlap look like it's something else like armored. Well, this makes it literally look like a hoodie, so I don't think this has a chance, but it's so well done, I had to show it to you guys. So there we have it. Next up, we've got some more deep sea for you guys here. As you can see, we've got a continuation with a boonie hat and a bandana. Fits the set pretty nicely, as you would expect, and if you look kind of down at the boonie hat, you can see it's actually trimmed to look like the actual leaves are coming off the front. Next, we have the thermo set for you, and it looks like it's made out of a warm blanket or maybe thermo insulation or something like that. One way or another, it's definitely a very kind of creative thing, and it kind of looks like something people run around in the world of Rust with, so definitely a nice one there. Then we've got some more for you here with a little construction worker set, and we've got, the kind of shiny, reflective kind of, looks like tape almost, which I don't know if that was done on purpose or what, but that's definitely very cool. And then over here we've got a miner's helmet, and it's pretty simple. It's just orange like the rest, but hey, we haven't seen a mining helmet skin for a while, so I could see some people jumping on it, even if it has a bright construction kind of thing going on with it. Next up, we've got the capybara hoodie and pants for you. It looks like they're moving on to some clothing to try it out as well, since we did see the armor pop in. And over here, we've got the head of the capybara, so if you were to flip up the hoodie, you would just look like a fuzzy little capybara. So, there you go. Next up, we've got a nice firefighter set for you here with the first responder set. Definitely nice detail to it, really captures the kind of feel of the fabric. Then you've got a big old fire department here on the back. Has nice bright colors, which some people really like for these sets, and that would fit right for it. Next, we got ourselves a gold bucket helmet for you, and it's just a simple idea, but a golden bucket just, I don't know, there's something about it that looks so regal. Speaking of creativity, I have to say the rest of our high qual sets are definitely awesome. This first one here, or next one here, is going to be a rhino. This is the white rhino set, and yeah, this thing is just crazy. The whole thing's textured out to look like rhino skin, and then they still managed to get a horn effect going without it looking too flat, which I think is really cool. And then you also have some ears and such along the sides, which is great. Next, we have the Abyss high qual, and this is definitely looking badass. We've got this crazy mask right here. Definitely looks very cool. Then you, of course, got the chest piece, and we can go around the back to see that. Just absolutely badass looking. Last but not least, we've got this crazy all gold set here, the Golden Story. And yeah, it's all this kind of cracked looking gold. And it's just, I don't know, there's just something about it that just pops really nicely. And I think a lot of people really kind of like this kind of look to it. Next up, we have our deployables, and as you can see, we have a burnt up, charcoaly looking sleeping bag. This is the smoldering sleeping bag, part of the smoldering set. It does have a glow, and we'll show that here when we get to that part of the video. Next, we got a couple small boxes. The first one has all this little beautiful art on it, and this is the Birch Paintings box. Then we've got a pearl shiny box for you, and depending how the light hits it, it has a nice little shimmer to it. Nice little pearly box. Then with our large boxes, our first one up here has a nice little ocean theme. This is the Sea Large box. Then over here we have another kind of box for you, and it's the polyester wooden box, or, you know, basically a styrofoam box. Gotta love the look of that. Then we've got a high quality box for you here, and yeah, just the whole thing just looks so industrial and tough, man. It kind of makes me wish we had metal boxes of some sort, you know, a little better, you know, storage, and maybe they're a little bigger size, but then they just had some kind of really cool look like this, you know. Then over here we have a continuation in the storage boxes, sign variety. So the sign storage boxes, this is the stone one. Here, stone. Then over here we've got the high voltage box for you, which also has some nice glow we'll show you shortly. Moving along, we've got a toolbox for you here with the Aviators large box. And lastly, we've got a large gold wooden box for you, and the whole thing kind of just looks like it's all stacked full of gold bars. Moving on, we've got some furnaces for you, and this one just sparkles like mad. I mean, look at that. It's so sparkly. I mean, it just really picks up. This is the minerals furnace. And then we've got a silly little furnace for you here. The whole thing actually looks like the vodka bottles from the game. And yeah, it's just basically turned one of the game's vodka bottles into a giant furnace. Moving on, we've got one last regular deployable here for you before we move on to the things and stuff over there. And we've got a safe refrigerator for you. And yeah, I think it's a simple design, but it looks really good. Then over here, we've got some rugs for you. The first one up is the charcoal rug. And yeah, just you can make your whole base kind of look charcoaly or burnt up. And then we've got a massage rug over here. It's one of those ones where you kind of like rub your feet on like little bumps on the rug, you know. But here, you know, since it's rusted, the best they did was they could come up with some buttons. Definitely a really cool idea. Then moving on, we've got doors for you. And the first one up here is going to be a nice wooden door. This one is the El Diablo wooden door, which is why it should look pretty familiar to you. Go ahead and take a look at the back there. Moving along, we've got another wooden door for you, and this one has a very curious kind of like see-through at the top. And I mean, yeah, I mean, you can see stuff behind it pretty well, but you know, at user height, not really. So you'd have to kind of get some elevation to see in there. But definitely a cool little blue door, and an interesting idea. Next, we've got another iteration of a photo booth. And by photo booth, I meant phone booth. I don't know what's wrong with me today. But you got that good old British phone box. Then over here, we've got a hellscape-ish door for you. The Burning Pirate door. Moving on, we've got a door that's literally pouring out some molten slag and melting along the way with the Infernal door. Moving on, we've got some runes and creatures and who knows what else with the Occult Devil door. And we've got some industrial camo going on over here with the Green Disguise. Then moving on, we've got what looks like some cowhide stretched across some wood-paneled metal door here with the Wild West door. Then we've got something a little more kind of sinister looking here with the Monument sheet metal door, and it looks like it's inscribed with some strange runes. Moving on, we've got one garage door for you this week, and it is the gaming room garage door, and man, this is a bright one. I can't wait to show you guys this with the lights off. Next, we've got a bunch of armor doors for you. The first one here is a container armor door. Then we've got ourselves a nice little vacation door here with the, well, vacation door. I mean, there you go. Next, this one has kind of a more industrial, steamy punk look with the gear-clad armor door. And then we've got kind of graffiti street kind of urban thing going on with the Vandal armor door here. And with bricks upcoming, of course, there's going to be some brick stuff. And, well, we've got our first thing here with the brick armored door. And last but not least, we've got the Constellations armored double door. So let's go ahead and kill those lights and take a look at the glow here. Bam. damn, look at that. Bright. If we cruise all the way down here. Just a little bit at the bottom there so you can find your door at night, which is nice. Nice little glow there on the safe to find your fridge. Nothing too special happens with the furnaces. They both have kind of the default going on. We cruise on down to our boxes here. Definitely some nice glow on these. I like the kind of calm blue that comes with this one. And then of course you've got our little ocean box here. And last but not least, the sleeping bag. Alright, let's get to our weapons and tools, and our first thing up here is a little rock for you here, and yeah, it just has this very kind of ore look to it. This is the copper ore rock. I just want to pop it into a furnace and smelt it. Next we've got a little stone tools set for you here, and it's got this nice kind of aqua colored rock. This is the lunar stone set. Of course we have the matching pick. Then we've got a Jackie for you, and this one's themed up to go along with the Abyss update with the Deep Sea Jackhammer. Moving on, we've got our weapons, and the first thing up is a nice little bone shank, and this one is the steel wire knife. You can see it looks like it's a piece of steel wire cut off and sharpened to an edge, and man, that would definitely hurt. Then we've got a couple swords for you. First one up here is this really cool spine sword. And yeah, it just has this, it looks like a spine of bullets going up along the middle, kind of inserted decoratively. And I can almost hear it like jingle. This would be such a really cool one to get into the game. Next, we've got another salvage sword for you, and this one has a very cool, funky green design. This is the Elder's signature sword, and it actually has some glow as well. Check that out. Definitely very cool. Next, we've got a crossy for you with some pirate themes to it. As you can see, it's got some Jolly Rogers up in the front, and it's simply called the Pirate Crossbow. Go ahead and draw that string back. And there we have that. Next we've got a Pumpy for you, and this one looks really cool. It's got these green inscriptions and runes all along it, and then a creature kind of skull going on. This is Necrotic Pump Shotgun. Aim down the sights here, you've got this big green rune and a kind of gold sight. It's hard to tell sometimes depending on the light, but it is a gold sight versus the black there. Next, we've got some saps for you, and the first one here is the Yuck Sap, and yeah, it's basically supposed to look just like this really worn-up, trashy pistol, and I think they've really got it there. I think the only thing it's missing is a really greasy feeling, but it still kind of has a bit of that. It's got a nice orange sight for you, and there's that reload. And I do believe we actually had a python in here. Yep, we did. And check that out. Such a beautiful python. I'm glad I didn't pass it up here. You can see it has this beautiful little oceanscape. It is simply called the water python. Aim down the sights here. You've got some gold sights to contrast on the black there. Next we've got some more saps, and this one is meant to look like it is made out of wood, and it is the wooden model sap, to be specific. Aiming down the sights here, it's pretty much just wood. And I like how there's kind of the carved bullets there. If you see, we'll do reload one more time. Definitely a nice little detail. Next, we've got one more sap for you. This one has a kind of dino feel going on. This is the Stone Fang sap, so you kind of have a little fossil thing going on. Definitely like the look there. Aiming down the sights, you've got some teeth, which I believe those are the fangs. And unfortunately, the sights are just brown on brown. Kind of wish they used a little bit more of that lighter color there, just to make some contrast. Next, we've got a custom for you, and it's got some wings and a nice kind of punk look to it. This is the Riot SMG. We do have some accepted pieces, so hey, this could be what makes it a set. We'll have to see. Aiming down the sights there, you've got the little kind of Riot Guy symbol and a nice green tip to focus in on. Next, we've got a very popular set, the Redemption set. So hey, it's the Redemption SMG. Has a nice little carve out there, as you can see at the front. Aiming down the sights here, you've got some nice red tips and dots. And there's that reload. Definitely love the carve out on this, for sure. And of course, it is stockless as well. Next, we've got some MP5s, and the first one here should look familiar, as it's the Blackboard MP5. And yeah, the Blackboard set has a few pieces, and some people have definitely liked it, but as you'll see here, it has a very cut sight. And I don't know if that's too much, we'll just have to see. But yeah, that's kind of the big piece right here, so hey, there's that. Next, we've got another one for you, and this one looks like it's all made out of like a Rector set or Constructor set, or depending who or where you grew up. Everyone saw something similar to this as children's toys, and it's definitely very, very cool. Aiming down the sights here, you've got a red tip against the green. And next, of course, the Banana set had to eventually work its way over to the MP5, so this is the MP5 Nana. There we go, MP5 Nana. Not too bad on that one. And of course, you got the same kind of slightly green sight to go along with it. Next up, we've got another very industrial-looking MP5 for you here with the Roll Cage MP5. It looks like this is the second one in what could be a set by this author, and I could definitely see a lot of people liking it if these made it into the game, because this is very rusty and used. It fits the vibe of the game, and is just one of those things that people have been craving for. Next over here, we've got a very creepy SAR, and this whole thing looks like it is covered in people's former tattoos. Yeah, all stitched together. This is some puts a lotion on the skin kind of stuff here. So, yeah, very creepy. Not sure what that part is. We're just, yeah, there it is. Next, we've got another SAR for you. And this one has a very kind of cartoony, cel-shaded kind of something going on with it. This is, of course, the anime SAR. There's the little SAR with sparkles, just in case you didn't know if it was anime enough for you. Next, we've got an AK, and it is another version of the Cerberus here. It's version 2, and yeah, this is just looking really nice. Love that artwork. Just really pops nicely. Aiming down the sights, you got a nice red tip and a kind of like a, looks like a boar, maybe? Or a single Cerberus skull? I don't know. They do kind of have like fangs, so it could be one of those. Next up, we've got another AK, and this one is all sorts of crazy looking. It's got this kind of gold, coppery goop thing going on. It's the Copper Aberrations. Yeah, there we go, copper. See, I got it on the second try there. It does have a red tip sight to go along with it. There's that reload. Next up, we've got next one in our very many AKs, and this one here is the Assault AK-47. Definitely has a nice little military vibe with the green camo. Aiming down the sights, you've got lightly kind of olive tips there. Really hard to see against the metal, though. And there's our reload. Alright, next up, we've got another AK, and believe me guys, when I say there's a lot of AKs this week, I mean it. There's literally almost 3 rows. So just too short of it. So there you have that. This one has a nice kind of carbon fiber, very clean look. This is the Special Ops AK. Nice bright red sights against that black carbon there. Next, we've got another AK for you, and this one is all sorts of like put together. This is the Tinsmith AK, and yeah, it's just all sorts of like scraps and everything. And this just really fits the vibe of Rust. Aiming down the sights here, you even have like a little, what would you call it, a vent going on. Just the whole thing looks like it was put together in a junkyard. Next, we've got a very fancy looking one for you. This is the Archangel AR, and yeah, it's got like marble and carvings and wings and everything, man. Aiming down the sights here, you've got that nice little sigil again, and some iron versus the kind of marbly white color, off-white color there for the sights. Moving along, we've got something very different. It's bright and green and everything. This is the AR Energized. And it might look like it's something that glows, but it doesn't. So if this were to pop in, you don't have to worry about it giving you away in the shop. It does have a very, very, very shiny metallic green sight there. There's our reload. Moving on, we've got another very different looking AR. At least they're very, very unique this week. This is the AK-47 from Heaven. And it actually does glow. There's two versions, a glowing and a non-glowing. So there's the glow for you. Definitely a very neat looking one. Last in this group, we've got another crazy looking one. It has this really awesome metallic art on it. This big old like sea creature chasing after this little fish. This is the Barracuda AR. Aiming down the sights here, you've got this crazy, creepy, fishy face and a metallic blue versus red and metal for the sights there. Next up, we've got more ARs. Hey, I told you there was a lot, right? And this is the Borealis AR from Equinox, and as you can see here, it just has a nice little kind of color gradient thing going on. Aiming down the sights, big empty space. I wish a little something was done with it there. But I know they're kind of just going for a clear gradient, and you've got the purple versus the blue for the sights there. Next, we've got another AR for you, and this one has a kind of like industrial, toxic-y kind of look to it. This is the Survivors prototype. It has kind of like an ammo bar, which I think is cool. Aiming down the sights, you've got pretty much just black against the kind of iron metal sight there. Next, we've got another one for you, and this is kind of all black industrial kind of look to it. This is the Used Titanium AR. Aim down the sights, you do have white dots and a black tip, red tip against the black sights. There we go. Next, we've got another one for you, and this should look familiar, at least the art. It is the Massacre set version of the AR. So there you have that. Complete with scratches, like the rest of the set has. Something beast is trying to tear its way through, or maybe I already handled this. I don't know. We'll just whatever they decide. One way or another, we've got a nice red sight to go with it. And next, we finally have something that isn't an AR. We've got the Banger LR. So there you have it. Definitely a nice addition to the Banger set. This one's been pretty popular as it's come by, so I wouldn't be surprised to see this one pop in. And we have a nice red ring and tip against the purple with the fading metal there. There's that reload. And last but not least, we've got one more LR for you, and it's got this tiger painted on the side, the Tiger Fury LR. Of course, the name makes sense there. Aiming down the sights, you've got orange versus black for the sights. And when you reload, you kind of just shove the bottom jaw back in there, which is always fun. Actually, the whole nose and everything. But bottom of the face, I guess, is what we're really looking for. But one way or another, everyone, that does it. So sound out down in the comment section below which ones you're hoping will make it in and why. Anything you have feedback-wise, I'll try to get to the right people if it isn't for me. And thanks for watching. Stay rusty.